Good evening. The Lawrence Alliance for Education Board meeting for June 14th will now come to order. The time is 6:07. Maria, would you please call attendance?
Yes. Dr. Dolores Calaf,
Present.
Edgar de Leon,
Present.
Arlene Garcia,
Present.
Juana Matias, Maria Muller,
Present.
Mayor Brian de Peña, Chair Patricia Mariano.
Present. Could we please stand for the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. As you may have noticed, we have one more new board member this evening. I would like to welcome Arlene Garcia and give her an opportunity to introduce herself.
Thank you. Like she said, my name is Arlene Garcia. I've been living in Lawrence now since 1997. I currently work for Lawrence Family Development Charter School as a parent liaison, and it's a pleasure and an honor to be here this evening.
Thank you. And as we work together moving forward, I look forward to this board making decisions which will impact the education of our children in a positive manner. On a personal note, I would like to thank Commissioner Riley for the confidence he placed in me by appointing me permanent chair of this board. I am deeply honored and thrilled that I will have the opportunity to continue my lifelong commitment to making the Lawrence Public Schools the best in the state. So thank you, Commissioner Riley. The next agenda is to convene an executive session. General Laws, Chapter 30A, Section 21A, Exemption 2, to discuss the negotiation of an employment agreement with Juan Rodriguez. The board will reconvene in open session after this discussion concludes. May I have a motion to enter into executive session for this purpose?
So move.
Thank you, Maria. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Maria, please call the roll.
Present.
Edgar de Leon,
Present.
Arlene Garcia,
Present.
Juana Matias, Maria Muller,
Yes.
Chair Patricia Mariano.
Yes. All right, we will now move into executive session, and we will return to continue the meeting. Thank you. All right, this item on the agenda that we're going to vote on is to convene an executive session pursuant to General Laws, Chapter 30A, Section 21A, Exemption 2, to discuss the negotiation of an employment agreement with Juan Rodriguez. The board will convene in open session after this discussion concludes. May I have a motion to enter into executive session for this purpose?
So move.
Thank you, Mayor. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Maria. Maria, please call the roll.
Dr. Dolores Calaf,
Yes.
Edgar de Leon,
Yes.
Arlene Garcia,
Yes.
Maria Muller,
Yes.
Mayor Brian de Peña. Chair Patricia Mariano.
Yes. We are now in executive session. All right, may I have a motion to close executive session and return to open session according to our usual process?
So moved.
Thank you, Mayor. Second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Maria, please call the roll.
Dolores Calaf. Dr. Dolores Calaf.
What do I say now? Present? Yes.
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 Edgar de Leon.
Yes.
Arlene Garcia.
Yes. Yes.
Maria Muller.
Yes.
Mayor Brian De Peña.
Yes.
Chair Patricia Mariano.
Yes. Thank you. At this time, we'll have public comment. The board welcomes public comment at this time. We will call people in the order they have signed up. Each person is permitted to speak for no more than 2 minutes. A bell will ring when you have 30 seconds remaining, and again at the end of the 2 minutes. I ask that you please respect this limit. Profanity will not be tolerated. If used, we will turn off the microphone and the person will be asked to leave the meeting. I'd like to remind everyone that during the public comment, the board is in listening mode, and as such, board members do not respond to comments. Written public comments may be sent by email to info@lawrenceallianceforeducation.org no later than 2 o'clock in the afternoon of our meeting. The first person on our list is Mr. Marley. Please state your name and address for the record.
Humayun Mali, 53 Chester Street. Good evening, honorable members. Lawrence teachers, thank you for your hard work and dedication. You are the most important reason for success of Lawrence Public School. We, the citizens, are united in support of Lawrence Teachers Union and Lawrence Public School paraprofessional. With a budget of more than $260 million, we demand the best compensation for our awesome teacher, Lawrence Public School paraprofessional, and our cafeteria worker. Thank you, Lawrence teachers. Our children are getting excellent education. We are proud to support great Lawrence Teachers Union. Lawrence, the best example of our teachers and their union, respect for teachers. As great leader Nelson Mandela said, education indeed the best weapon to change the world. This change is only possible. We support our teachers and their union. While making multi-million-dollar schools, we must pay our teachers and paraprofessional and employees of the Lawrence Public School well. Lawrence teachers, your hard work has emerged such a great hope for better future. We are united in support of Lawrence teachers and their union. We wish the best summer vacation for our wonderful Lawrence Public School employees. We stand up in unity in support of Lawrence Teachers Union, and thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Marley. Mr. James Karras?
Good evening. My name is James Karras, 79 JFK Street in Cambridge, Mass. I am here to introduce myself to you. I am a consultant with the City of Lawrence, specifically working with the Mayor's Office on a variety of issues with the city on its economic future. Last fall, I was retained by the city and the Mayor's Office to advise the city on the future of the school department and to think through what are the key issues and do some research and recommendations about the future of the school department and its relationship with the state, Commonwealth of Massachusetts. To that end, since last fall, I've been doing some research in terms of school systems around the country that have been in receivership and taking a look at what are the elements of a transition plan. So we're continuing with that research, and We look forward to working with you and the mayor's office and the city and thinking through eventually a transition plan that will bring control back to the city of Lawrence for its school system. But I just wanted to take the opportunity tonight to introduce myself to you. I know you're on break during the summer, and I look forward to seeing you again in the fall and working with the commissioner's office and yourself in this board and the mayor and the city in terms of the future of the school department. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Caress. That concludes public participation.
Mr. Mariano,
Yes.
can you explain something? Let me thank you, Mr. Scott.
But you can't respond to public participation
Later.
later. Yeah. All right, we'll continue with the chair's report. At this time, I would like to ask for a motion to approve interim superintendent Juan Rodriguez's contract and ask the board to authorize me to sign the contract on behalf of the board. May I have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Thank you, Maria. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mayor. Any discussion?
All I wanted to say is to Superintendent Rodriguez and to your staff is that sometimes you're put into difficult situations, and this was one. But you all handle yourselves with dignity and care of our community and our students and our staff and our teachers. And just wanted to commend you for all the work you've done, so thank you.
I would just like to add that I'd like to thank Superintendent Rodriguez for really moving our district in the right direction when it comes to being inclusive. You've embraced our community, and you're working alongside the city council and building up the relationships that were, a little shaky there in the past. And I appreciate, and the board appreciates, everything that you've done to improve relations with the district. As a matter of fact, the video that you put out this morning to the families was outstanding, and I want to thank you for doing that.
Thank you for those thoughts. Obviously, the videos are a product of LPS Media, our friends at LPS Media who are always behind the cameras, behind the, behind the microphones, behind the technology. So they were able to turn that around very quickly for our folks. So I appreciate those thoughts from both you, Chair Mariano, and Member De Leon. Thank you.
Okay, Maria, would you please call the roll?
Yes. Dr. Dolores Calaf,
Yes.
Edgar De Leon,
Absolutely, yes.
Arlene Garcia,
Yes.
Maria Muller,
Yes.
Mayor Brian De Peña,
100% yes.
Chair Patricia Mariano.
Absolutely, yes. Congratulations, Interim Superintendent Juan Rodriguez. All right, at this time, I will turn the meeting over to Superintendent Rodriguez for his reports.
Thank you very much, Chair Mariano. I am going to ask that we take something out of order that's at the bottom of my report, but we're hoping to get Mr. McCarthy from the city to be able to present what he needs from the board or what he is requesting from the board, so we can take a vote on that as quickly as possible. Mr. McCarthy?
Thank you, Superintendent, Chairman Mariano, Mayor De Peña, and the rest of the board. My name is Daniel McCarthy. I am the Director of Planning and Economic Development with the City of Lawrence. The city, one of my responsibilities is overseeing construction projects that are being developed through the Mass DOT. One of the projects that's been on the Transportation Improvement Plan for several years is the new intersection redevelopment at the intersection of Marston Street and East Haverhill Street, which is directly outside of the Partham School and will impact that. The project contemplates changing the design of the streets where they meet, putting in new lights that will have stop lights, flashers, and new crosswalks that are safer and ADA compliant. The project is on the 2024 transportation program, which means it'll be constructed in the year 2024. Right now, we're currently working with the state to acquire all the easements from the property owners in this neighborhood. The city, being one of the main properties affected, has 10, actually to strike that, 9 easements that we'll be requiring to do this construction project. I've color-coded the easements by the different types. Some of these easements are temporary and will only be needed for while the project is being constructed. Some of these are in the color orange, and those are utility easements, which means that utilities are going to go in underground or above wires. In the case here, they're all electrical wires that will be going underground for the purposes of putting new lights up along the right for safety purposes. And the last grouping is a pink easement, which is right at the corner. That's a permanent easement. It's going to be a taking. And part of the reason for doing that is they needed to change the design and scope of the road, the width and safety matters, because it will be putting crosswalks near there. So the earlier in this week, we had sent you several weeks ago, we sent you a package that concluded a vote and a document from the federal government, which was a federal guide to property acquisition by government agencies. As a government agency, the city is required to compensate anybody who's affected by this, including other agencies such as in other governmental bodies, such as the school department. So what I'm telling you is that you are entitled to compensation from the city, that we would pay you for the need of this. I have to advise you of that. I have to advise you of that. What I'm going to be asking for, though, is that the school department donate these easements to the city. And I forgot my copy of the vote, and I'm not going to read the full vote, but I think the important part is that it's going to be under Mass General Laws, Chapter 40, Section 14, that this will be an intergovernmental transfer for the benefit of the public good. And I believe that's what the case is here. As I said, this is going to be a great improvement for the children, for the people in this neighborhood. As you're all aware, the Marston Street is one of the fastest streets in the city. This is going to drastically slow down the people passing this school and put new crosswalks in. So it'll be a great benefit for the city. So what I'm asking for tonight for this board is a vote to donate these properties, these easements, for the purposes. So if you want, I can go through the slides one by one or answer any questions that you have. Okay, so I'm going to start with the first slide. As you can see, there's a large yellow area. This is on Marston Street on the southerly side of the school. It is near the parking lot in the little circle. The 2 orange easements will be permanent easements, and those are for electrical wires that are going to be beneath the ground, and we're going to be linked up to the lights flashing lights for safety purposes. The rest of it's a temporary easement that we need to pour the concrete for the sidewalk and to do the bib into the turnaround for the school department. Second slide shows the area approaching the intersection of East Haverhill Street and Marston Street. As you can see, there's a permanent easement in pink. That's a part of the land that we'll be taking, and there's going to be a mast on there, and we need that for the equipment that will be directing the traffic. The yellow part of that is, again, only construction easements, and we'll only be, our workers will need to get on that for the purposes of pouring the new concrete sidewalk. And the third slide is the area where the turnaround and the drop-off area is. As you can see, there's a large area where we're going to be doing electrical work underground, and there's going to be utility lines beneath the surface where that orange area is, and the yellow area is going to be just the marked area where we're going to be paving and working to improve the area. So those are the 9 easements. As I said, most of them are temporary or either utilities that you won't even know it's there. You'll still own the property except for the area in pink. That's part of the taking that we need. And again, I can't try and beg you or under government law, I'm not allowed to try and cajole you into doing this. I can only ask that you donate these. But like I said, it's for the benefit of the public, and I think it's we're all interested in making this project work for all of us. If there's any questions, I'd be glad to answer.
Any discussion at this time?
So, sorry, so the question I have, because let's make believe I don't know how to read. The donation comes from us. That pink area in the map then turns into a city area as opposed to the...
So the donation will be just an easement. That means the city has a right to go on the land.
Yep.
And we'll place, in the orange ones, we'll be placing wires underground.
Got it.
So that's a permanent easement. The yellow ones will only be for a period of 3 years while the intersection is being constructed.
Yep.
And so we can go back and do maintenance work. The only permanent taking will be that pink area, which will become part of the crosswalks and mechanisms for the street.
Got it.
Superintendent?
Thanks, Dan. Very informative, I think. Just to give some more background to the board, our Chief Operating Officer, Adonis Hernandez, has been working with the principals over at the Partham School and the parent-teacher organizations and Safe Routes to Schools for several years now to make some improvements in traffic flows and safe walking for students to arrive at school. The city has done a tremendous amount of work repaving East Haverhill Street, installing a radar sign, school zone. But as Mr. McCarthy said, the crosswalks at the corner of East Haverhill and Marston are a recommendation that Safe Routes had. We believe that if we do grant this easement, that will be part of the scope of work that is done at the corner, which does continue to be a place of concern for parents and the city. At our meeting, we had school committee member Tracy Soto, who was also very interested in easing the traffic flow. If you're able to go to that area between 7:30 and 8 o'clock, you will see that there is very congested traffic over there in that area. And also the improvements that will be completed through this work will also improve signage and the crosswalk at the corner of East Haverhill and Marston, which we believe will increase safety for all of our students and also alleviate some of the concerns of parents who end up dropping off their students instead of allowing them to walk to school. And every parent who decides to drive their student to school instead of allowing them to walk adds to the congestion. We did try to remediate some of the issues, looking at one-ways, things like that, but unfortunately unable to turn East Haverhill into a one-way because it is a main artery into the city. So the school department has worked with the parent-teacher organizations over there, and we feel that this would be a tremendous improvement to the neighborhood and would aid to safety for students leaving school and on their way to school.
Thank you, Superintendent. Any other comments? All right, could I have a motion to approve the donation of the 9 easements to the City of Lawrence, the Planning Department, for improvements in the Marston Street, East Haverhill Street area?
So moved.
Thank you. Second?
Second?
Thank you. Maria, please call the roll.
Dr. Dolores Calaf,
Yes.
Edgar de Leon,
Yes.
Arlene Garcia,
Yes.
Maria Muller,
Yes.
Mayor Brian De Peña, Chair Patricia Mariano.
Yes, the motion carries.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Dan. Superintendent?
Thank you, Ms. McCarthy. I think at this time we'll move on to our first update, an end-of-the-year update. So again, many activities going on at the end of the school year. I think while we present these, we would like everyone just to take a look at the photographs and the visuals. You're going to see a lot of pride, a lot of happiness, a lot of joy, which is the way it should be towards the end of the year. A little bit less than a month ago, we had our We Are Lawrence presentation from our dance troupe at the high school. Also, bottom left pictures from the unified games that we'll go into. Middle section, you'll see our friend Luis Marroquin, who was the student representative of the Lawrence Alliance for Education, and several of his classmates graduating from Lawrence High School. And then also a great photograph of joy and collaboration amongst the elected delegation from the city and the state level and students who are currently at the LAE and the Leonard School celebrating the groundbreaking ceremony over at the new LAE site project. I did want to read a message from Louis, who was our student representative, who unfortunately was not able to join his last meeting tonight because, of course, he's working. But he did want to send a message to the board. So I'm just going to read the message that he sent us. I quote, "It's been an honor to serve on the board this year. I hope my insights were helpful one way or another. I hope to see LPS achieve great things for both students and staff, and I hope to come back one day and see how LPS has improved and become better than it has ever been. I hope they can find an even better candidate next year who will outshine me on the board. Thank you all for an amazing opportunity, and good luck with everything the same way. We hope that you are going to continue to cheer me on, and I will be cheering everyone in Lawrence on from Boston." That was from Louis Marroquin. And Louis is just a great young man, and he will be attending college in Boston next year, and I believe he's going to go into a nursing program, I believe, and we wish him continued success. Just some updates. Next slide, please, Dave. Just some updates, again, since our last meeting. We have some leadership updates that we think are very exciting for us in general in the community. We have Mr. Geraldo Acosta, who has been appointed Assistant Superintendent for Community, Family, and Student Partnerships. Mr. Acosta has been with the district for many, many years, worked at many different places in the district, including the Arlington School, Lawrence High School, Adult Learning, the High School Learning Center. Mr. Ariel Perez is going to be our Chief Financial Officer. He comes with a lot of experience in state government, and we are excited to have him join our team as well. Next year, Kevin Tracy will be the principal at the Alexander Bruce School. Mr. Tracy has 15 years' experience as a principal, most recently in Reading and as the principal at Bedford High School, and we know he's going to do a terrific job at the Bruce School next year. And the final appointment that we made, which was just yesterday, was Mr. Carlos Cordero is going to be the principal at the Rise Academy next year. Mr. Cordero is also a longtime Lawrence resident, graduate of Lawrence High School. He's been an employee since 2012, I believe, at the International High School, doing a variety of roles, guidance counselor, student support, dean of students. His most recent assignment has been the assistant principal at the Abbott Lawrence Academy. He has a great mix of experience with newcomer students, advanced students, and social, emotional, and trauma-based practices. So we feel he's going to be a terrific addition for the Rise Academy. So we just wanted to update the board on those appointments. Next slide, please, David. We wanted to update the board on our LWFI graduation. Lawrence Working Families Initiative graduated its 5th cohort of the Para-Educator Program with 15 adult learners and LPS parents who are beginning their paraprofessional journey in the district. So these folks are adult learners, and they are also parents of students in the Lawrence Public Schools. The Lawrence Public Schools, Lawrence Community Works, the Adult Learning Center, and Northern Essex Community College, as well as the community group, work together under the LWFI umbrella for one objective, and they have implemented a program that has parents being educated to pass their Para-Pro exam to be ready to go into the classroom as para-educators to support our students. So there's a variety of instructional things that they go through, including English as a second language, reading, and math. These are skills that they need to pass the Para-Pro exam. And they also take other things such as financial coaching, CPR, first aid, family engagement. And we had their graduation a little bit less than 2 weeks ago over at Northern Essex Community College. Just a wonderful event and a wonderful group of learners. And we know that they're going to do a great job working with our teachers and working with our students next year across the district. They did their internships in Methuen Public Schools, Lawrence Public Schools, Haverhill Public Schools, as well as Greater Lawrence Technical School. So they worked in area schools, and we know, again, they're going to do a great job next year. Just a great example of how we're developing our own workforce here in the city. Next slide, Dave. We have a quick update from last night. Very emotional and very rewarding ceremony to be part of. We had our Adult Learning Center graduation over in the Performing Arts Center. There were 35 students, adult learners, who earned their citizenship last night. There are 29 students who earned their high school equivalency, and there were 5 students, including 4 former students from Lawrence High School, who completed their MCAS requirement to get their high school diploma. So those 5 students received their certificate of completion from Lawrence High School. They might have been missing their MCAS in biology or their MCAS in math for their full diploma. So these folks came back, studied to pass their MCAS requirement to get their high school diploma. We heard from 5 speakers, all with really tremendously emotional and really great stories about resilience, working with their families, working with their colleagues and their teachers over at the Adult Learning Center in their education. For those who don't know, the Adult Learning Center is now located at 255 Essex Street. Really great facility, huge upgrade over where the adult learners were previously located. So we want to thank the Mayor's Office and the City Council, first of all, for supporting funding with the Adult Learning Center on a yearly basis, approximately $1.3 million that is also met with matching grants from the state. And again, obviously, where you learn and the facilities where you learn matter, and we know that the staff and the students over at the Adult Learning Center greatly appreciate where they're located now. We wanted to update the board about our Special Olympics Unified Games Day that was held about a month ago at both Veterans Memorial Stadium and also the South Lawrence East Complex. So the Special Olympics Unified Games program is aimed at promoting social inclusion through intentionally planned and implemented activities. And we celebrate these partnerships, and we allow for all of our students to showcase their abilities and their skills. So we had over 600 students who participated in 10 athletic stations across the day. We want to thank our partners at Mass Special Olympics, New Balance, and ALKU. In the top right, you see several of our students giving high fives to the mayor and the rest of our elected delegation. We had Captain Montes and Lieutenant Cirillo from the Lawrence Police Department joining the entry to start the games. And again, a lot of joy that day. We were lucky, we were blessed with a great day outside, very sunny but not too hot. And our students and our teachers and our partners did a terrific job that day. Another thing that really needs to be celebrated is the LAE groundbreaking ceremony, which was Monday, May 15th. This is going to be a state-of-the-art K-8 educational complex, over 1,000 seats, which is about a 250 seat increase over what the old LAE and the Leonard were able to accommodate. We're going to have over 128 rooms, academic spaces, spaces for special education, art, music, offices, dining, media center, etc. And we're even going to have a rooftop playground, I believe, in that facility, which is going to be great for the kids, as space in that neighborhood is limited. And also the media center is going to be state-of-the-art for our students as well. You know, a lot of work has been done by a lot of folks. We want to thank the Mass School Building Authority, obviously Second Assistant Majority Leader Moran, Representative Reyes, Senator Payano, and the mayor also made it among many, many of our city councilors who were also there to celebrate that day. So again, we want to thank the work of the state delegation, also the mayor's office and the city council for making any funding that they needed to make this a reality for our students. So we're looking at 2 years out on this project, and we can't wait to see what it looks like. It's really going to be a special place. Other spring festivals and activities, of course, we had all kinds of end-of-the-year activities at all of our schools, celebrating the work that their students have been done this year. Again, you're going to see a lot of joy and partnership in these pictures as well. Breen, Tarbox, and the Weatherby School were lucky enough to have the Lawrence Police Department, the community policing unit, stop by at their celebrations to add to the joy, and also the LPD ice cream truck, obviously a sight that all kids want to see when they're outside having their end-of-the-year field days. Also, we had other events such as the Gilmet Middle School going to Boundless Adventures for team building activities and ropes courses. Kids having a lot of fun, staying active, being healthy, building relationships with their peers as the school year ends. We had a variety of promotional ceremonies for our 8th grade students and kindergarten students across the district. Again, many folks attended these festivals. Of course, the 8th graders wanted to celebrate their accomplishments, wish their colleagues well as they go off to high school in different places. Our schools develop promotional ceremonies with students and families to best fit the ideas of their community. So some schools held their final assembly in like a block party style with music and a cookout, kind of like the Arlington School there, and students would come with their families during a 3-hour window, would come take a picture, take a selfie with the principal and their teachers, eat a hamburger, listen to some music. Other schools did more traditional promotional ceremonies. And we hosted the Oliver and the Leonard promotional ceremonies at Lawrence High School, and we had a lot of fun over there with them as well. And then, of course, end of the year at Lawrence High School, a lot of great things going on. We can start in the top left. We have Dr. Reynoso and Mr. Caraballo celebrating with Jay Ashley and Emiliana, who are our cheerleader scholars who achieved LPIN status, which is over a 3.9 GPA. Bottom left is Maya, Emily, and Louis celebrating their LPIN. This year, as part of our prom ceremony for our juniors and seniors, we did work with Mr. Finn at the high school to have motor coaches for safety purposes transport students who may have had a financial issue with, a lot of kids like try to rent cars and things like that, but we're trying to promote safety and also financial ability for students to come participate in that. So we took a picture with Mr. Finn and Eliza and myself on the motor coach, and we had 2 motor coaches, and I think we're gonna try to expand that for next year to try to get as many students as possible to take the motor coach up to New Hampshire and then come back. Again, a great celebratory night. Outside the top right, there's a good picture of myself with Julian and Kais outside in front of the lake before going inside. Just a tremendous prom for all the students to be able to celebrate and have fun with their friends, have one last blast before graduation. Again, talking about scholarship and pride, if you, the middle bottom there, you see JC with his abuelita and his mom and his little brother. Again, JC is a junior at the high school. He plays football. He passes, pre-calculus with an A+. And you can see, like, he's a great role model for his younger brother. I think, these are the things that we need to celebrate. Just happiness, pride. You can tell that he's doing whatever he can to thank his mom and his abuelita for the sacrifices that they made for him. So he's going to be very successful wherever he goes. On the middle bottom right, obviously, we can see the LHS Alumni Scholarship Night. Hundreds and hundreds of folks, students, families, donors, thousands and thousands of dollars given to our students in scholarships for them to be able to afford what they want to do at the next level. In the middle right, you see the mayor, we have Senator Payana, we have, again, Rep. Paulino, Second Assistant Majority Leader Moran, at LHS Civics Day, where students did civics projects talking about wellness, violence prevention, school lunch, asthma rates, all kinds of things that affect the city. Affordable housing was a big one, right, Mayor? All kinds of things that they think are important. Listening to them advocate and have solutions for all of these issues that they think are important is just tremendous to hear them talk, the scholarship, and then their ideas on how to solve these problems. Just an amazing day for me to be able to be a part of. And again, we thank the mayor and everybody else who came out. And then bottom right, another great story. Caritza, who is on the right of me, is a senior. And, instead of asking anybody else to go to prom, she asked her older sister, Jarlene, to go with her. Her older sister, Jarlene, graduated 2 years ago, obviously in the middle of the pandemic when we couldn't do any type of social activities. So, she felt that her sister didn't have a chance to celebrate. So instead of coming with someone else, she decided to go with her sister. Just, I don't know, it's just amazing, right? Our kids are amazing. So we want to celebrate both, Caritza for her achievements and Jarlene for her past achievements a couple years ago. We were able to make it through graduation. It was a stressful couple days. We wanted to update everybody on how we made our decision to actually have the graduation indoors. So, Chief Operating Officer and myself were on a call Tuesday planning, and then someone's like, well, what are we going to do? What if we have to cancel? I'm like, what are you talking about? Because up till Tuesday, the forecasts were for it to be like 75, beautiful out, and then as the week went on, the forecast worsened. So, this is a very tough decision to make when we have 687 students and their families there. It's going to be a night of celebration. So on Wednesday, we talked about it at our leadership team meeting. We decided Wednesday afternoon to prepare 2 options. So if you see the middle and the bottom, our facilities team working with Lawrence Department of Public Works had the outdoor setup ready to go. Wednesday night, so less than 48 hours, about 48 hours prior to the graduation, the leadership team decided we need to make an indoor option so that we can make a good decision for all of our families who oftentimes, right, invite a lot of folks from out of town to come join them. So right away, our facilities team at the high school, along with DPW, went into action to set up the indoor area as well. So we went from the bottom left, where our field house is empty, to within 48 hours, having all the risers pulled out, cleaned, the stage built up front, and almost 700 seats set up for our graduates. So when we think, and we usually have 2 rain dates, but when we looked at the forecast for Saturday and Sunday, those seemed equally miserable as well, so we didn't want to cancel Friday night, and then cancel Saturday, and then cancel Sunday. So Friday morning, again, in consultation with our meteorologist who works with the district and also consulting with the mayor's office, we made the decision to move indoors Friday at 10 a.m. All of our students had received tickets for an indoor graduation as part of the preparation for graduation, so we didn't have to do anything additional. So we did want to say thank you very much to the people who made this happen. Next slide, Dave, please. Again, obviously, the facilities team, we see Carlos and Hector and Felix and Jeff and Joe and Mario and Kyle, Brantley and everybody else, again, who basically really had to work kind of nonstop between Wednesday night and Friday morning to make sure everything was set up. The Department of Public Works assisted us greatly. Our partnership with the Lawrence Police Department, they had 20 officers on site to help with folks entering the building, traffic, overall safety, to make sure that the kids had a great time in a safe environment. And also the Lawrence Fire Department provided 2 firefighters, as we did have over 2,000 folks inside the field house. So we had 2 firefighters on watch just to make sure there were no safety issues there as well. So we want to thank all of them who really made it happen for us. Next slide, please, Chris. As part of the graduation ceremony, we do have subsets of students who graduated not just with their high school diploma, but with other credentials. We had 69 students who graduated with the state seal of biliteracy. Again, when we talk about career readiness and being able to serve the community, bilingualism is something that is you have to have it in this community, and it is a great skill to have in any type of career. So the seal of biliteracy recognizes high school graduates who attain high functional and academic levels of proficiency in English and also a world language. So how do we say that they're highly proficient in English? We look at their MCAS score. They have to have a certain MCAS score, and then they have to have a certain score on the Spanish AP exam. We also had 27 graduates who not only graduated with their LHS diploma, but they attained a vocational credential through the After Dark program with our partnership with Greater Lawrence Technical School. This is Sebastian's work credential that he received from Greater Lawrence Tech, as well as a diploma from Lawrence High School. So he is able to go right into the workforce with his high school diploma and his training credential in metal fabrication. He already has a job. He started work, I believe, the Monday after we graduated. He is going to continue to work with the company that he was doing his co-op with at Greater Lawrence Tech, and he's got a great career ahead of him. The current career and technical education options that students can take through the After Dark program include heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, automotive technology, as you can imagine, is very popular with our students, advanced manufacturing and welding and metal fabrication. So the Greater Lawrence Technical has been wonderful with us. We're going to develop an even stronger relationship with them as the years go by to expand more career and tech ed options for our students. As the mayor says, we want to attract businesses to the city. How do we do that? Through a trained workforce, right? We need trained workers so that students can make a living wage if they make the decision that they don't want to continue their education when high school is over. Again, we did want to say a final congratulations to the class of 2023. Some great pictures are from some of the students who decorated their caps prior to the ceremony. Obviously, there certainly is beauty in the struggle as our students worked very hard over the last 4 years to attain all of their goals. And they kept showing up, right? As this young lady said, just keep swimming, just like Dory says, right? Just keep swimming, just keep showing up, and you're going to be successful. And we admire the perseverance and persistence of all of our students. And then just some final pictures from the graduation ceremony. Of course, where can you find these pictures? You can find them in the LPS Media Flickr page. You can also find video of the LHS graduation and every other single event that has happened in the district in the last month. So again, if you do have time, if you do want to see any type of pictures or any type of video of our students, any type of performance, athletic event, or celebration, all of these are available on our YouTube page. And again, any type of picture that you want from any school event, whether it's the Weatherby promotional exercise, Lawrence High School graduation, or the Jarrow OTC Military Ball, you can go to the Flickr page and take a look at the albums there so you can see pictures from athletic events and celebrations. Be glad to take questions on any end-of-the-year updates before we move on to the next report.
Any questions or comments?
I'll just make a quick comment first. Congratulations to the class of 2023. I think this class probably were freshmen when the pandemic hit, and now they've made it all the way through. The other thing I said, somebody said keep swimming, and we're talking about sort of these bigger decisions here, But we have a lot of great people working daily with our students that need to be commended as well. So congratulations to the teachers and administrators and staff who work with our kids.
Thank you. Anyone else? I just thought that was fabulous. We've done so much, and this is the type of thing that we need to do. We need to share all this great information with our citizens and people that are watching us on Facebook Live. The activities and the successes our kids have need to be bragged about, and thank you, Superintendent, for doing that.
Yeah, a lot of great stories, obviously, a lot of great work, as Member De Leon said, right? A lot of great work from our staff members, outstanding achievements by our students, and, you know, celebrations and pride from the families as well, and from the community. The graduation night was just a great night, taking selfies, giving kids high fives, celebrating everything. I just think it was a wonderful night, and similar things going on at the K-8 schools and the early childhood schools as well. I did want to give the board just a quick review of our school quality reviews that have been completed through the School Empowerment Network. So all of our schools gets a visit from the School Empowerment Network and gets a school quality review on a yearly basis. Why do we do this? This process takes a look at how well schools are organized to support student learning and teacher practice. And these visits are designed to support schools to engage in key practices correlated with raising student achievement. So the visits give schools feedback on how they're doing in key areas that directly affect student achievement. Next slide, Dave. We're just going to give you a quick snapshot of school documents and data, what like a one-visit school visit schedule looks like, how the folks observe classroom spaces and teacher team meetings. They do panels with students, parents, teachers, and school leaders during their visits, and then they give each school detailed feedback on how to improve results at the school. So the SQR, the School Quality Review Report, includes ratings in 11 indicators from the School Empowerment Network rubric. You know, all 11 indicators are very important. To me, the most important indicators are Indicator 1, which is curriculum, Indicator 2, which is pedagogy, and Indicator 4, which is the school environment. Again, all 11 indicators are important, but if you get a good rating on your school environment, you have a learning environment, a positive environment, and then if you get a good review on Indicator 1, you have good curriculum, high-quality curriculum that meets grade level standards and challenges students, and then you have a high rating in pedagogy on your teaching practices. If you put all three of those together, you have a winning formula. You have a safe and caring school that students want to go to school to they want to go every day to learn. You have a great curriculum that's teaching them what they need to know, and then you have great instructional practices so that kids can talk to each other, kids can take notes, kids know how to do close reading, kids know how to sound out words if they don't know something. Those are the key ingredients to me. But again, all 11 indicators are important, but the key ones, in my opinion, are 1, 2, and 4. Next slide, please, Dave. So these are the 11 indicators. So the schools get feedback and a rating in all of these 11 indicators. And again, in my opinion, indicators 1, 2, and 4 are the most important, but all of them have value. So there's a rubric that goes along with that, and the schools are provided feedback on how they're doing on each one of those 11 indicators so that they can use that in school planning. So a sample school quality review schedule would involve a meeting with the leadership team, could be the principal, instructional coaches, maybe some folks from the teacher leadership team, a review or reflection, taking a look at is the school using Eureka Math for their math curriculum? You know, what are they using for advisory? What social emotional practices are they using? Then classroom visits and debriefs, another review or reflection, a focus group with students, a meeting with teachers, a parent meeting, a teacher team meeting observation, which means during a free block for teachers when they're meeting to talk about curriculum or assessment, the SEN team observes teachers during their teacher planning time. And then towards the end of the day, any questions that the team has for school leadership or a final document request, they say, okay, I want to take another look at your math curriculum. Can we take a look at that? Then there's a final review or reflection, and then there's a feedback session with the school leadership at the end of the day. So again, all of our schools received feedback. Next slide, please, Dave, one more. So again, they get a rating in every area from indicator 1 curriculum to indicator 11 intervention classes. A WD means it's well-developed, a P is proficient, D is developing, and UD is underdeveloped. So in each one of these areas, the schools will get a rating, and then I'll also get specific feedback on what the reviewer team thinks is the most important areas for them to focus on in school planning. And I think, schools will get a document like the one I'm holding up with pages where they can take notes on what the feedback is and how they're going to plan. And again, focus area continues to be pedagogy for many of our schools, right? And we want to increase our instructional practices when working with our subgroups of students. Again, like what instructional practices are going to work with our multilingual students who are still learning English? How do we teach them to do close reading or partner reading? How do we teach them to do discussion with a partner so that they can practice their oral English, right? How do we teach them to take notes so that they can study something at home or use their notes in an open book quiz or something like that? And feedback could include, okay, this school has time for students to do collaborative work in class, but they're just using traditional roles when you're doing collaborative work. Oh, you're the timekeeper. Oh, you're the note taker. Oh, you're the presenter. But maybe it's better to get away from things like that and assign roles like, okay, you have to listen to your partner, but instead of just taking notes, you have to be a dissenting voice, saying, I heard your argument, but I believe you should have solved the math problem this way. Or an extension question, say, okay, you said you were going to convert this to an improper fraction. Can you expand on that thinking? Or trying new approaches. So a lot of our schools are getting kind of advanced feedback like that, saying, you have basic things in place, but we want you to take your instructional practices to the next level to really push our kids. So next slide, please, Dave. As you can see, there's, keep going, Dave, one more. As you can see from those previous slides there's not a lot of red areas. Most of our schools are in developing or proficient or well-developed, which is exciting. You can go one more slide, Dave. And I did want to show you just general, overall, they give us a point score overall for what our schools are doing out of a 4. So from the last couple of years, we've been stuck in the mid-2s. This year, we had an increase overall to 2.65. 63% of our schools showed improvement in their index score, 13% held the same score, and 23% showed it going down a little bit. So most of our schools, 76% of our schools stayed at the same level or improved. Next slide, please, Dave. And again, this is just, again, some of the indicators by school. And again, if you notice School 4 there in the middle, last year had a lot of red areas that were underdeveloped. That school made a tremendous amount of improvement, had no underdeveloped rating, and had 4 areas that were rated as proficient. So what our schools are doing is they're taking a look at their reports at the end of the year. Over the summer, the teacher leadership teams and the principals are using the reports to make action plans for what do we need to work on? Is our curriculum substandard? Is it our teaching practices that need to improve? Do we need to have a better student management system to make sure that students are in class and are not staying in the bathroom for 10 minutes and might not be sitting in the guidance counselor's office for 40 minutes? We want to make sure that kids are in class so that they can learn. Obviously, some of our schools are doing very, very well. What our task is now is to make sure that the results that we're getting on the school quality reviews kind of match up with the state metrics. If a school is getting well-developed and dark green, saying that they're doing a great job in many areas, we want to make sure that that school shows improvements on their MCAS overall performance and on their MCAS growth, and also on reducing their chronic absenteeism. We want to make sure that these ratings are reliable, so that when our teachers and our principals are making action plans, that's going to show up on the metrics that affect how the school district is rated, which is still predominantly on MCAS scores, right? MCAS overall achievement and MCAS growth.
Superintendent, could I stop you 1 minute for a question?
Sure.
I'm looking at school number 4. Dave, could you go back?
Slide 11, Dave.
No?
One more back, Dave. Perfect.
All right. School number 4 and 22 had many undeveloped indicators. What supports were given the schools to help them achieve, move those underdeveloped to developing and proficient?
So all the schools have a support through a partner such as ANET or a consulting group such as Epstein and Cereso, who work with schools on their action plans after they get their report. So just like when we get, we get our MCAS report, we take a look at how we did. We use the SQRs in the same way with our planning, and then they work with somebody in the curriculum office, maybe someone in the multilingual department, maybe their zone director for special education. Wherever they think they need to make movement, that's who they work with. And it could be a district employee, or it could be one of our consultants, or they might just do it with their own teacher leadership team and with their parent school leadership team to make that plan. So they have a variety of in-district and out-of-district supports, whatever the school leader and the teacher leadership team feel is needed.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions anybody might have at this point? Okay, go ahead, Superintendent.
Dave, if we can just skip forward to slide 15. I think one back, Dave, if you can go back. There you go, perfectly. So we are seeing overall positive trends. If you look at positive learning environments, 28 out of our 30 schools were rated proficient or well-developed, right? So we need a calm, positive learning experience for our kids. Our schools are doing very well in that area. Leveraging resources, which includes how do we staff, how do we use our interventionists, how do we use our ESL support teachers, how do we use our special education co-teachers. So 27 out of our 30 schools were rated proficient or well-developed in leveraging their resources, and that was cited as an area of strength in 6 of our schools. So those are really positive indicators to see. We're going to look at our MCAS scores and our school ratings to make sure that, again, this is correlating nicely with MCAS and our overall school ratings. Next slide, please, Dave. Action planning, when we look at goals and what our action plans are, if we don't have a good plan to improve achievement, then we can work really hard on that plan, but the metrics are not going to change. But in 26 out of our 30 schools, they were rated proficient or well-developed in their action planning, and it was noted as an area of strength. So again, we're encouraged by that. The School Empowerment Network is saying that the schools are doing a good job in planning, and we know that that's going to lead to better results for our students. And if you go to the next slide, Dave, one more slide. Again, the feedback that our schools get helps them develop better plans that's going to lead to better results for our students. So when you look at School 3 in pedagogy, School 3's SQR report is saying that there's clear evidence of progress. School 5 in pedagogy, well on its way to improving its instructional practices. School 15 is developing the school's vision of what the model of effective instruction looks like. School 19, progress was observed. So obviously, we're not where we want to be yet, but we're making progress to get to where we need to be so that our students are getting that great combination of positive learning environment, great curriculum, and excellent and scientifically proven instructional strategies that we know are going to allow them to learn more and reach the metrics that we need to reach as a district. And then just some more general information. I'll just open it up for questions. It is a very rigorous process, and again, after the visits, schools do debrief with our curriculum office on how the visit went and reviewing their results and then action planning for the next year.
Any questions from the board? A lot of information, Superintendent.
Yeah,
Thank you.
it's a lot of data, right? We have to look at the data. If we're not looking at the data, then we're not going to make any improvements, right? We have to know where we want to go to get there. If we don't know where we want to go, then we're not going to get to where we need to get to. So that's part of what we're doing as a district. You have to take a look at the data that's presented to us, where are our areas of need and how do we need to improve, and then the results follow. So
Is it possible, maybe at a future meeting, to share one of the letters that you get for a school, and we can see how the ratings are and what the descriptors are?
Yeah, sure.
And what the consultant is saying to the schools? I think that would be very helpful to help understand what this report is saying.
Absolutely. I think, hopefully we'll be able to invite you to some of those visits next year if you have a couple hours, to kind of like shadow the School Empowerment Network as they do visit classrooms, do talk to students, do talk to parents, just so that you get an overall feel of what the process is like.
That
So
would
you
be
can
great.
gauge for yourself, say, oh yeah, this is cool, or maybe even suggestions on how to improve it, so.
Okay, thank you.
Next on our update is teaching and learning. And And we have a summer program presentation from three of our folks who work with us in central office. I believe we have Marlena, Danielle, and also Julissa here, just to talk about our summer programming. Obviously, school year ended today, which is terrific, but we are offering a variety of summer programming to a tremendous amount of students across the district, high-quality summer program involving, high-quality curriculum and also some high-quality field trips for experiences and things like that. So Danielle, why don't you just introduce yourself to the board, what your role is, and then we'll get going on the presentation.
I would love to. Thank you, Superintendent. My name is Danielle Archambault. It is so wonderful to be here with you tonight. I am the district's Director of Inclusion Education.
Hello, good evening. My name is Marlena Isalgas. I am the Special Education Director as well as a facilitator for the Extended School Year Special Education Program. Nice to see you all.
Good evening, everyone. I am Julissa Dakle, and I'm the ML facilitator for the Lawrence Public School District.
We are going to get started and give you an overview of what we have to offer this summer, which we're very excited about. We're just going to quickly go over our vision for our summer learning opportunities and experience, and our collective vision has shifted. It's changed, and it's very exciting, if I do say so myself. This vision is to ensure that all students participating in our summer school experience engage in a grade level, engaging, affirming, and meaningful learning experience beyond what is found in the traditional school year. We also want to highlight, for the first time in LPS history, all students who access a variety of summer programming supports will be together under one roof here at South Lawrence East, which will afford us the opportunity to prepare for and build a more inclusive experience for all of our learners in the same place.
Thank you, Danielle. Here's a brief overview of the programs, and we'll talk a little bit more about the inclusion that will be happening. The Level Up program that serves students K-8 as well as at the high school. And the K-8 vision is to reduce learning loss and help prepare students for the next school year. At the high school level, it's an AP Summer Bridge program to kickstart learning. The Newcomer program is an intensive summer experience designed for entering and emerging multilingual learners, level 1, in grades 1 to 8 to support English language development. And the Extended School Year program is designed to support special education students in preventing substantial regression during breaks in instruction for those who are high needs. And academic as well as related services are provided in accordance with IEP service delivery. There is a great deal of enthusiasm regarding this vision for inclusivity amongst the programs of Level Up, Newcomer, and Extended School Year. Together, we have engaged in coordinated and collaborative planning in order to provide opportunities for students with disabilities and neurotypical peers to have shared educational experiences and learn from each other. On the next slide, I will capture the scale of the programming. Thank you very much. So we are going to be serving over 3,000 students this summer. Extended School Year has an enrollment of 345, 5 facilitators across 5 sites, 33 teachers, 105 paraprofessionals, and 24 related service providers. The Newcomer program includes 165 students, 1 facilitator, 16 teachers, a counselor, as well as 5 paraprofessionals. The Level Up and high school program, 2,500 students, 256 teachers, 19 facilitators, and 19 counselors. And the music program, which you'll hear more about in a little while, 60 students, grades 3 through 11, 1 facilitator, 3 teachers, 1 para, and 4 community partners.
Hello again. Just to talk a little bit about the Newcomer Summer Program this summer. Just like Marlena said, our district-wide summer school program will be intensive, designed for entering and emerging multilingual learners who are level 1 and are in grades 1 through 8. The purpose of the program is to provide multiple opportunities for students to interact with their peers and advance their English language development. In addition, they will have daily special, such as PE, technology, and have access to an amazing bilingual library. And we will also have an interventionist that will support students that will need additional language support. The curriculum that we'll be using this summer with them will be hands-on English, framed for fluency, with aligned professional development for the teachers. Next slide. I'm happy to share a little bit
Julissa,
about.
I just had a comment on the curriculum. I think, the curriculum office, as well as the Office of Student Support and the multilingual office, really took a deep dive into curriculum to purchase curriculum for the teachers. Again, this is a pretty significant commitment on the part of the teachers and the paraprofessionals and the counselors to work over the summer. It's great for our students, so we decided to make the investment in curriculum that would reduce the amount of planning that they need to do. Obviously, it's high quality. Students see themselves represented in this curriculum, and also it allows the teachers to have a healthier work-life balance over the summer. Sorry to interrupt you, Lisa. Thank you.
Thank you, Juan. For Level Up and the high school programming, Level Up Summer School is designed to help students improve their academic foundation and help them develop new skill sets for the future. K through 8 will, like Mr. Superintendent said, the district purchased standards aligned curriculum in reading, math, and writing from iReady with aligned professional development. The high school summer school encompasses more of a credit recovery program. Purpose of the summer school experience is to engage students academically and support social emotional learning to enhance the student experience in the upcoming year. They will be using AP Summer Bridge program, the Rising Lancer program to support the transition of incoming freshmen, and credit recovery opportunity. All of these.
Julissa, can I just make a comment on that as well at the high school? Obviously, when we say we support all students, that means we have to support all students, right? Not just our students who are struggling or who need credit recovery, which is obviously important, but also our students who are going to be taking advanced placement classes to assist them and give them guidance in their summer work so that then when they start their AP class, they have all the required summer work complete, that we're not just saying, hey, go home for 2 months, and then you have to have these 10 things ready for your AP class, and if you don't have them ready, you can't take the AP class. So, again, when we're supporting all learners, that's what we mean. The transition program that Julissa just mentioned for incoming freshmen allows them to get a lay of what the high school looks like, learn the schedule, learn where everything is located at the high school, and then also develop relationships with the staff who they're going to work with. Again, our K-8 facilities are awesome across the district. You can feel how close the staff are with the kids. Oftentimes, many of them who have been there since kindergarten, all of a sudden they get to the high school and they don't know anybody, right? And that makes it very hard for the ninth graders. So the reason why Principal Melendez and the folks at the high school instituted this program was to allow students to get that head start during the summer. Okay, I have to take a bus for the first time. I'm not walking from Alder Street to the Arlington School, a 30-second walk. Now I have to get out, wait at my bus stop, make sure I get on the right bus. Then when I get to the high school, I need to find out where my class is. So those are things that are allowing us to get a jump start on the school year. So when August 28th starts, it's going to reduce the amount of confusion and anxiety for our freshmen. And again, as well as offering credit recovery opportunities for some of the students who may have missed too much class or just weren't able to get that done.
I think that's it. But all of them, all of this will be mix of academic, social, emotional support, and giving them enrichment activity throughout the summer.
Next slide. Here are a few highlights of the extended school year program. We're continuing our highly successful partnership with Roman Music Therapy. We partner with them during the school year and have worked together in prior extended school year programming. Students will be provided with weekly sessions. We're also going to be using grade band specific curriculum, which is utilized during the regular year. This is TeachTown, and it will be accessible for students in electronic as well as print format. We have provided teachers with a robust array of commonly used visuals to be implemented during extended school year, including picture exchange system books, visual schedules, token boards, first then boards, and other supports that will help them access their instruction. And we have also purchased a variety of hands-on, age-appropriate materials for teachers to select from to promote learning engagement for students, including many multi-sensory items for student use.
Thank you, Dave. Now we're going to talk a little bit about the inclusive learning opportunities that are coming up very rapidly here for our summer offerings. And as part of this year's offerings in support of our larger district mission to create a more inclusive learning environment here in Lawrence, students accessing our summer program will have the opportunity to participate in the following in-house field trips supported by our partnerships with these organizations, such as the Seacoast Science Center. Animal adventures, because let's not forget, summertime is for fun when you're a kid. And also the Lawrence Fire and Police Departments, who will be making a trip out to see all of our kiddos. In addition to those in-house field trip offerings available to all students, students who are accessing our ESY programming will also have opportunities to access specialist learning sessions such as dance, technology, and gym alongside their non-disabled peers, as well as recess and lunch opportunities. And in collaboration with our newcomer program, we will have student-delivered literacy sessions where a student from our newcomer program will come into our ESY classroom to engage and read aloud to our students. So really several opportunities to build a sense of community across all of our learners during our summer programming. On behalf of my colleague in the music department, I'll be sharing some of the highlights for this summer's music program. This summer, the session will include a wonderful opportunity for students to learn how to play an instrument while having a good time, because again, summer is for fun when you're a kiddo. So students will have the opportunity to choose an instrument they'd like to learn to play, such as strings, percussion, keyboard, or vocals. They'll receive one-on-one individual lessons to develop their skill set. They'll engage in large group ensemble performance on opening day, and they'll attend 3 field trips to see musical performances during the summer.
Continuing with the Inclusive Integration Music Program. This program is in collaboration with Merrimack Valley Music, a collaboration with students from ESY summer program. Students will listen to the selected music and respond by drawing original illustration to the projected during the concert. Participating schools for this summer will be the Oliver Elementary, Oliver Middle, the Weatherby, South Lawrence East School, and Lawrence High School. And we're done.
Thank you, ladies.
Any questions?
Any comments from the board?
Yeah, I just made a comment, like, where was these programs when I was a student here? But I actually had a question. There's an enormous amount of investment in curriculum, in manpower, in budget. And so I'm wondering, especially for programs like the newcomer programs, is there a way to follow kids, or we've become very data heavy. Is there data showing that actually these programs are actually working for the long-term success of our students? And if not, is there a way to develop a way to do so, given the investment we're doing in the summer?
I think, with the multilinguals, the newcomer students, absolutely. We take the ID numbers for every student who's participating. We can easily track that data versus kids who are able to participate and those who are not able to participate. Obviously, the students that we selected for these programs are using data to select them. We don't have the capacity, like you said, staffing-wise and fiscally to invite, the whole district. So we narrow from the many thousands, 5,500 something multilingual students. We're inviting 165 students to that program. Obviously, we're not able to invite every 9th grade to the Rising 9 program at the high school, so we're using data to invite students that we think would really benefit from the program. Obviously, the ESY students participate based on what their IEP reports for their programming, but we do use data when we are selecting these students. And the school principals do as well when they're doing their invites. Obviously, one of the primary things is they want to make sure that they're inviting students who are going to be able to come for the entire summer, so that, we use those slots for students who are going to be there over the entire 17 days, I believe. Yeah, so, we use data when we're selecting students. We can definitely take a look at how those students do compared to their peers who weren't able to participate.
Thank you. And you actually answered my second question about how our students are chosen. I just make a very quick comment. I actually think that a lot of the success we saw in terms of our schools happens actually in the summer and the increase of summer programs. So just congratulations on the work you guys are doing.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make sense just to expect a bunch of 14 and 15-year-old students just to show up at the high school and be successful if we're not, preparing them for that. It's not logical for us to expect a bunch of AP students just to do well in an AP course without helping them, prepare for that, giving them guidance over the summer. It's not logical for us to expect our students with disabilities not to regress if we don't offer anything to them over the summer. And it's not logical for us to expect them to learn if they're not, like Danielle said, actually having fun, right? The socialization is definitely one thing, but also fun activities that are also beneficial to them. My daughter plays violin. I played violin a long time ago. It's great, right? It's something very good for them to do. We have other things going on. The Play Ball Foundation sponsored us, gave us a large amount of money to offer kind of an extension to the summer program for fitness, athletic, volleyball, basketball clinics at several locations. So we're going to do a lot of academics, of course, a lot of fun things, enrichment, athletics, health, involved in that as well.
Yeah. And the fact that it's centered around engagement, access, and inclusion should be commended, so congratulations.
Any other questions or comments?
Just a logistics
Go ahead,
question.
Maria.
What are the hours of, I'm assuming they're all different hours, but what's the?
It's the same hours, so it's 8 o'clock in the morning until 1:15 in the afternoon, Monday through Thursday.
Okay, and for how many weeks?
It's for 5 weeks. It's from June 26th to July 27th.
And we have a couple days off, July 4th is a Tuesday, so I believe we have Monday and Tuesday off that week. And again, the hours are till 1:15, and working with the intramural department, Joe Petrosino, and the Play Ball Foundation, we're going to do our athletic enrichment right at 1:15 to about 2 o'clock for students who want to do that. Not all students have to do it, but if you are, for example, at the Arlington School and you wanted to participate in the volleyball clinic, it'll be right at 1:15 so that, students don't have to go home and come back, and then those students will be dismissed at 2 o'clock from their location.
And meals are included for lunch? Will they be receiving meals as well?
Yes, breakfast and lunch are included.
Mr. Hernandez, how many of our schools are going to be feeding locations during the summer? 5 of our schools are going to be feeding locations. So again, any member of the community can come and get breakfast and lunch at those feeding locations, whether they're part of summer school or not. Those are just open feeding locations. And we also will have mobile market sessions twice over the summer as well at Lawrence High School for folks who sign up. Mobile market is a great benefit for families who have a student enrolled in the district. All they have to do is register with our Nutrition Services Department, and they can come down on the selected Saturdays, get multiple bags of fresh food, groceries, to assist with food security for our families.
Thank you, ladies. That was fabulous. I'd like to come and
you.
learn how to play the flute. That's been my dream.
Thank you. Thank you.
We'll
Thank
save you a
you.
spot. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Marlena, Danielle, and Julissa. Outstanding update. The last update we have for tonight, we have Assistant Superintendent Acosta, who's just going to give us a brief run-through of some of our data, just, again, our attendance data, our final enrollment, number of graduates we had a few weeks ago, number of anticipated grads during the summer, and then he's just going to walk through a little bit about the Family Experience Questionnaire and some of the results that we received from families as we move into the summer months. Take it away, Mr. Acosta.
Good afternoon, board members. Just a quick update. So we start with the enrollment. This morning we're up to 13,820. Our attendance rate is at 89.7%, which is not where we want to be. We definitely want to be at 95% or higher. I think that coming next year with the work of our zone directors as well as our liaison, attendance liaison, and we're trying to, definitely work with our schools and our families to come up with an action plan and see if we can, get this percent a little bit higher. As Mr. Rodriguez indicated, graduation a couple of weeks ago, we had over 687 students. In August, we are anticipating having 160 other graduation. And so we anticipate total that we will have 847 students for the end of the school year. The District Family Experience Questionnaire this school year, I believe it was in March, the questionnaire was shared with the families in the district. And we had over 6,802 families that responded. But we also had 5,493 families that really completed the questionnaire. And this is a little bit higher from last year. I think we went over 1,200 responses on families. So I'm just going to just go over some of the questions, and then we can have a discussion on this. So in regard to the student with an IEP, 1,373 families responded that they have a student on an IEP.
I think this is a key piece of information because we have approximately 2,500 students enrolled in the district who are classified as having special needs. So out of those 2,500 families, we receive responses from over half of the families of students who have IEPs. So we think that's very encouraging as we want to make sure, especially with these families, that we have good communication and we're getting feedback on their students' experiences.
Next slide, please. 89.88% of the family responded that their child likes to participate in schools. And what I'll do, let's do the next slide, please. 79.20% of the families indicated that their child has at least one trusted adult in the school to talk to about any type of concerns. Next slide, please. 83.1% families indicated that their communication with their child's school this fall was good or excellent. 92.18% of the families indicated that they agree or strongly agree that the child's school, all communication are delivered in both in English and Spanish. .7% of the families indicated that they strongly agree that they have at least one person in the school that they can go to for any type of concern. Like I said, this is a survey. This is the fourth year that the survey has been presented to the parents. The report is given to the principals, shared with the principals. Is also is inputted in our website so parents and the community can look at the results. The idea with the school is so that they can look at the data and just plan an action, have an action plan in how to work some of these challenges, either it'll be communication, student attendance, and so forth. So I'm not sure if you have any questions.
I think the key piece of this is, again, that the amount of families that are completing the survey. We had over 5,400 families, as Mr. Acosta said, who completed all questions. I believe we had 24 questions.
Yes.
And also, when we get results from 100 families, terrific. When we get results from 1,000 families, is better. 2,500 families, even better. Obviously, we want to get as close to 100% as possible, but getting 5,400 complete survey responses really allows us to say that the data is authentic. We want these results to say, there's 100% of families who are saying that if they have a question that they need answered at the school, that there's a trusted adult. We're not there yet, so we have some families that we still need to work with to make sure that every single one of our families and every single one of our kids has a trusted adult that they can go to at school for any type of question, whether it's for rescheduling class or to reclassify an absence as a medical absence, or to report any type of concern, whether it might be a bullying concern or they need extra help or things like that. So, The results are great, like Mr. Acosta said as well. These are just district results, but every school gets a breakdown. Like, for example, the Arlington Elementary gets a breakdown of their specific questions. Every school gets a breakdown of their specific data, so they can also use that in action planning. How are they going to set up their family engagement sessions? Are their families reporting that there's good communication? If their communication is excellent, all right, we're going to stick with the plan that we're using. If the communication needs to improve, how do we improve it? Do we use Class Dojo? Do we use more Blackboard? Do we have to use more social media? Do we have to do direct mailings to families again? So, we'd be glad to take any questions on the family experience questionnaire.
Any comments?
Just, this is aggregate data, but obviously, like you said, this data, we know by school who answered what, right? So it's great, though, because they're pretty specific questions, and I think some of them are pretty, again, like straightforward and easy to address, relatively easy to address, so I think that's really good. Thank you.
Superintendent, out of all these surveys we've given, let's say the past 3 or 4 years, is this the highest participation rate you would say?
Oh, absolutely. I think Mr. Acosta said we get, between 1,500 and 2,000 additional responses just from last year. We had a highly increased rate this year for whatever reason. Did a lot of outreach from Mr. Acosta's office, Family Resource Center, but also the folks at the school, putting it in their communications with families. A lot of families do weekly newsletters, and then a lot of personal phone calls by the parent liaisons. And, when a parent comes in to dismiss their student, here's the QR code for the family experience questionnaire when you have it. You're taking your kid to the dentist while you're waiting. Can you fill out the family experience questionnaire? I think, obviously, as always, a lot of work by the folks at the school level who know the parents the best. If they get a random phone call from myself or Jerry or from, Maria and the FRC, that's great, but if they get a phone call from the person they see at school every day or from their teacher, obviously that personal connection makes a huge difference.
Thank you.
Right, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Acosta. And that concludes the superintendent's report, so we thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Superintendent. Okay, at this moment, could I have a motion to approve the May 8th minutes?
So move.
Second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none, Maria, would you please call the roll?
Dr. Dolores Calaf,
Sí.
Edgar de Leon,
Yes.
Arlene Garcia,
I abstain. I was not present during that meeting.
Maria Muller,
Yes.
Chair Patricia Mariano.
Yes. Motion passes. May I have a motion to approve the May 10th budget public hearing minutes?
So move.
Thank you, Maria. Second?
Second.
Thank you, Edgar. Any discussion? Hearing none, Maria, please call the roll.
Dr. Dolores Calaf,
Yes.
Edgar de Leon,
Yes.
Arlene Garcia,
Abstain.
Maria Muller,
Yes.
Chair Patricia Mariano.
Yes. May I have a motion to approve the May 10th regular LAE Board minutes?
So moved.
Thank you, Edgar. Second?
Second.
Maria, thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none, Maria, please call the roll.
Dr. Dolores Calaf,
Yes.
Edgar de Leon,
Yes.
Arlene Garcia,
Abstain.
Maria Muller,
Yes.
Chair Patricia Mariano.
Yes. At this time, before we adjourn, I would like to take a moment on this, the last day of the 2022-23 school year, to thank the entire Lawrence Public School staff for their dedication and hard work this school year as you impacted over 13,000 students. I wish you, and the board wishes you, a very happy summer and a well-deserved rest. So thank you, LPS.
Chair Mariano, I'd just like to give a quick update on the question from Member Garcia on food locations during the summer. The following are feeding locations that are going to open up on the 26th. Arlington School is open, Gilmet, the Leonard, Partham Complex, Bruce School, Hennessy, the North Commons Educational Complex, which is the old high school right here, South Lawrence East, Frost, Lawrence High School, of course, Oliver, Tarbox, and the Weatherby. All of those are public feeding locations for breakfast and for lunch. Other locations in the city, if you are out, if a kid's out riding their bike and they want to grab something for lunch, they can get something at the Hancock Courts, the Boys and Girls Club, at the Boathouse, and also at the Stadium Courts. So all of those places are open and available summer feeding locations Monday to Friday, breakfast 7:30 to 8 o'clock, lunch from 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock, and those feeding locations open on June 26th and August 11th, and we will definitely put that up on our website so folks can take a look at that as well, and we'll also put that up on our social media platforms so folks can access those locations, very, very, very numerous locations across the city, probably not a block or two away from wherever you are in the city.
Any other announcements? I have one more. This Friday at the South Lawrence East School from 11 to 1, we will be handing out bricks from the LAE School to anyone that had come by the final walkthrough and had requested a brick as a souvenir. So this Friday, June 16th, from 11 to 1, the bricks will be handed out with the thunder. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn with the next anticipated LAE Board meeting scheduled for September 13th, 2023.
So moved.
Thank you, Edgar. Second?
Second?
Maria, please call the roll.
Dr. Dolores Calaf,
Yes.
Edgar de Leon,
Yes.
Arlene Garcia,
Yes.
Maria Muller,
Yes.
Chair Patricia Mariano.
Thank you, and good night, and have a great summer.